Right, hello. So welcome to this part on my pretty sort of in-depth look at the Synthstrom Deluge. I guess this is kind of like a video version of the manual with extra added bits that I sort of find that I'll put in different videos when I find cool stuff that I can do with this amazing piece of kit. So this video is all about recording, copying, pasting, automation, that kind of stuff. So there's a few ways we can obviously input notes. Obviously we can just light up the pads and so on and create our patterns like that. Let's get rid of those. We can also record them in real time, which can also be quite useful. So all we do is have the kind of record button armed, and then when we press play it will record anything that we play. So I'm going to do it in this view first of all, so you can see that as I play down here, okay, the notes will appear. Obviously, if we hold down a key, we get a longer note. You can see that one there. I've just recorded longer and so on. Let's get rid of those. If we're in kind of synth mode, the sort of the playing, same thing will apply. And then we go back into the kind of pad mode here. The notes will then appear there as if by magic. Not really, it's just recording, it's not magic. And the notes that you record are the default setting. They are quantized. The default setting for the quantization is 30-second notes. You can change this in the settings menu. To access the settings menu, we're going to hold down shift and press the selection knob here. And then there's all the sort of the main global settings. If we go scroll through to quantization and then sort of enter, we can choose 8th notes, 16th, 32nd, 64th notes off, and loads of other different ones in there. I'll go between either 16th or 32nd notes depending on how crap my timing is when I'm playing. So it's down to personal preference really on that, as to what you want to do with it. Obviously when you're recording as well, such as I was recording there, I didn't have any drum beat or anything, so obviously it's impossible to find out what the timing is. So obviously we do have a metronome. If we hold down shift and press the tempo button, when we now record, we will now get a metronome, and then we can obviously we get better timing. And just to turn that off, just do the same thing. So shift and tempo button, and that will turn your metronome off. So that's recording, pretty straightforward. Obviously, if you've got a MIDI keyboard set up, it will record the same way as well. You can record via that if you're more of a pianist rather than a button player. You've obviously got that option to record via MIDI as well. So, copy and paste. Let's have a look at that. I'm just going to get rid of that track. Okay, so we've got a totally blank song. So we'll just put a random kind of bass line in, and we'll look at copy and pasting for now. Okay, so let's see, I want to copy that and put that onto a separate track and have it with a different synth sound. Very easy to do. So to copy, what we're going to do is going to hold down the learn button and then press down on this knob here. And you'll see it says copy. So that's kind of copied those notes onto the clipboard, for want of a better description in computer terms. If we now go on to a new track, and let's have a different synth sound, pick one at random, and then to paste, it's just shift, learn, and then the same button. You'll see it says paste, and it's now pasted those notes into that track. So if I deactivate the first one, okay, we've now got those notes in our second track. Okay, I'm just going to undo that for now. I'm just going to go back to this other track, and I'm just going to duplicate it. So it's now 2 bars long, I think. 4 bars, no, 4 bars long, or whatever it is. No, 2 bars long, yeah, 2 bars long. Because one thing you've got to watch out for when you're copying and pasting is it will only copy this section that's in, basically the section that's in view on the screen. Now if we've got notes kind of off screen up here, so we've got higher notes and lower notes, it will still copy those if they're off screen kind of on the vertical axis, but horizontally it will only copy those bits there. So if I wanted to copy this whole pattern, I would need to zoom out. So I've got the whole thing in view here, and that will copy the whole thing. Obviously, that's very useful if you only want to copy a section. So it's kind of like, I don't know, if you think of it in sort of computer terms, that you get your mouse and you drag a section you want to copy. It's basically the same thing on here. Whatever is in view will copy that section. So just be aware of that when you are copying and pasting on that axis, not the vertical axis. So that's basically, and copy and paste will work between different tracks and also between different songs as well. So once you've copied that onto the clipboard, you can go onto your other song and then paste it wherever you wish in that song. So pretty flexible on the copy and pasting stuff. So that's copy and paste. We'll have a look at parameter. Sorry, that was a big P on the parameter. So parameter recording. So I'll leave this track in here now. I'll just get it back to one bar. So obviously we've got our gold dials up here, which I think we've looked at on previous lessons, that we can obviously over time we can move these live. So we've got the filter and okay, so great for sort of manipulating on a live basis, but we can also automate those over time. Very easy. The easiest way to record the automation is, well, the main way to record it is to actually record the movements of the dial. So whenever we are recording, anything I turn on here will be recorded in as automation. So if I press play, okay, you can see that's now moving on its own. Do the same thing with the resonance. Okay, so simple as that, we've just recorded that automation in. We can also manipulate these while they're being automated. We can also turn them by hand, and what will happen is it will kind of then smoothly go back to its automation settings. So if I let go, it'll just kind of drift back to wherever it was. So you've still got live control over that as well as the automation. So another cool kind of thing that you can do is kind of, you can automate on a per step basis, so you don't have to automate the whole thing. So if I leave that as it is, let's say I want this note to suddenly have a massive amount of reverb on it. What I would do is I'll select the one I want first. So I've got reverb is on this dial here. All you do is hold down and hold down on it, sorry, press down on it, turn this dial to where you want it. So I'm going to whack that reverb all the way up to the top. Okay, now when I play, okay, you can see hopefully that reverb on that one, when it hits that note, is going up. So let's say I want to put a bit of delay on this one. Let's get my delay settings first of all. Let's have it about there and see what happens. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do a bit of, let's have full resonance and cut off on that one. In fact, let's set that down there. Okay, so you can see how easy it is to, as well, to overwrite. You know, if I just wanted that to be there, you just hold it down and it'll go to that setting. So you can get some really cool effects with that, particularly, you know, with longer and shorter notes. It's a really useful little thing if you want to just automate just like one note or one section. So let's say if you want to sort of, deletion of automation, which is also something you may want to do. Let's say I want to delete the automation of anything I've got on the cutoff filter. All we do, hold down the shift button, press down, and it will delete, and then you can see that all that automation has now gone. Sorry, that's the delay going on and on forever there. Okay, so the last thing on this section then is we can also copy and paste automation. So let's just re-record the cutoff automation on this. Okay, so let's say I want to apply that cutoff automation to a different track, or even indeed a different song. We can do that. We can copy that automation. So to copy it, kind of similar to how we did before, we're going to hold down the learn button, but then we're going to press down on the gold knob of the one that's selected. So I've got the cutoff selection, the cutoff selected here, and then remember this is the frequency. So I'm going to hold down learn, press that, and that's copied it. So if I now go and create a new track, let's get rid of the delay, etc. off that. Okay, just play that new one. Okay, so if I then want to apply that filter automation to this track, very, very simple. We just to hold Shift, learn, and press down on there, and it will paste it, and you'll see now when I play. Okay, so again, really cool little feature that you can copy if you've got a really nice bit of automation that you want to be similar to on different tracks. You've got those copy and paste functions. One final thing, just sort of on editing, you can get rid of basically all the tracks and automation, basically clearing the track. A quick way of doing it is hold down the this button here and press the back button. You see it's clear and everything's gone. Kind of gets you back to scratch from that way round. Let's do that one as well. Why not? There we go. There we got rid of everything. Good. Okay, so there's a little bit on copy and paste and automation. Takes a little bit of getting used to. There's a lot of shortcut buttons to remember, but you know, to my mind, it's no different to remembering shortcuts on a computer keyboard for using Ableton Live. It's just down to doing it loads and loads. And you just remember it. I remember when I first got the Deluge, I was like, God, all these shortcuts and buttons. But once you use it loads, it does get really, really easy to use. You know, it's the same way as using any new bit of software or hardware. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Okay, so thanks for watching this one. I'll see you in the next one, which will be coming up at some stage in the future. If you've got any questions or comments or suggestions for future videos, please stick them in the box below. Preferably constructive criticism. If you don't like my voice, I've had a few people recently who've moaned that they don't like my voice. Well, if you don't like my voice, don't watch the videos, okay? It's as simple as that. Don't spend 25 minutes of your life watching a video and then saying, oh, that was rubbish, you've got a boring voice, I'll never get that 25 minutes of my life back. Just don't watch it. Simple as that. Sorry, rant over, but it just really annoys me when people do that. Okay, I always go off on one every now and then because it just winds me up. So yeah, we've done all that bit. Check me out on Spotify, iTunes and all that, Rezzonator music. If you like acid electronic-y, ambient-y stuff, then hopefully you'll like what I do. And any kind of streams and things like that. All helps keep the channel going, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.